Hello, my name is Jim Hummer from Solver, and today we're going to be looking at Dynamics GP multidimensional analysis and BI360. Dynamics GP multidimensional analysis has been around for a number of years. It was discontinued for a few years, and then I believe it was implemented back in version 2013. What it basically does, it extends the chart of accounts with analysis groups and code IDs and lets you allocate different amounts to different projects or analysis codes. And it basically has an extension of the chart of accounts. It was a precursor to AA or analytical accounting, and it's been used now in 2013 and newer versions. So basically the way it works, like I have an account set here, and I can have an analysis group. I can set as many analysis groups as I want. One of the key things is you have options how to set these to be fixed or optional and so forth. My recommendation is to at least have this as required. You don't want to have some amounts to have MDA and some do not. It kind of skews your reporting somewhat. And then I can take my analysis group and I can add my codes. I can add as many codes as I want into many projects. And that can extend my chart of accounts by these different codes. So I have a transaction here. And here's a transaction that I did for consulting. And I have $3,500. I can go to distributions. Within distribution, I can click on that account. And right here is what's called the analysis code. And I can click on that, and I can go ahead and have these amounts. And I can go ahead and put and allocate whatever I want in conjunction with these. I can add as many counts as I want to do that, or I can have just one. Once I have that and post it, I can go into BI360 and create a report. So here's BI360, and we're just going to do Excel. And I have my actual summary, which I have normally, which I use for a P&L type report. And then I have my analysis coding group. These are the groups here. And then these are the code, which has the actual code transaction. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to actually do an actual summary. I'm going to drop my account string into the report, create a selection on the row. I'm going to put an account description in there. And then I'm going to go into my row and delete my filter for an account string and put in an account. I'm going to type in my account. I just happen to know that 4150 is the consulting account. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my period change, which is the monthly activity. And then I'm going to go down into functions and do this period this year. And then run this and through parameters. And I'm going to go and type the period 2014-01. And that basically creates my amount which I have for that account for that period. So now how do I add the MDA? Well, I go ahead and I go to my finance tab, and then I go to my code and I add my code amount. So now I can have, because I have like dimensions, I have the account string on my row. I can go ahead and utilize that, but I also have to put periods on my column. So I used a function on my actual, but this one I'm going to use a period, and I'll kind of explain why a little bit. And then I'm going to use that and go ahead and then have that expand, but I don't want to display blank records. And then I'll put my code ID, and actually instead of code ID, I'm putting my code description into my report. So now if I run this, it basically has my amount for the period, and then it expands out to show what that breaks down by my MDA codes. So I can now go ahead and format this the way I want, and I can also go ahead and then put totals here if I want, and put in there MDA total. And I could also go here and put in a grouping if I want. And have an effect that shows the MDA and then expand it like that. So I can also go ahead and do different formatting, which you can see on our training videos on how to do that, but is pretty much all Excel, so it's fairly basic to do. One key thing though is that if you're going to use functions, you need to use what's called manual functions, and I have an example one here. This is for just the current period. You could go to our support site and get any other function that you want. It takes a little practice to build them, but it's not really that difficult. And you just put that into your parameter, and this will run as the function. And that'll run fine. So I want to do year-to-date, use a year-to-date manual function to make that work. So that is how you use MDA with Dynamics GP and how you make that report work with BI360. Thank you very much.